happy and healthy. So yeah, you wouldn't think these calves are super crook, would you? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or for those that are new here, hello, my name is Alicia. So for those who don't know, I've been doing a calf rearing series here on my YouTube channel. So today is going to be episode 4, which is all about Cryptosporidium, or crypto for short. So crypto is an internal parasite that can really affect young calves. Unfortunately, we've had it here on the farm for about 4 to 5 years now, so I've definitely had my fair share of it. So in today's video, I kind of just want to tell you what we do to get through it, because I know it can be really hard. Show you what calves look like when they have crypto. Hope you learn a little bit more about crypto. Fingers crossed you don't have crypto in your shed. I hope you enjoy this video, and let's get into it. Crypto affects young calves between about 1 to 4 weeks old. It is really contagious. It spreads like wildfire, and it is super hard to get rid of. I mean, it can even live for over a year in the right conditions. So crypto is pretty much spread to other calves by the ingestion of the oocysts. So when a calf poos, obviously another calf will lick it, ingest it, and then they'll be infected with it. So it normally takes about 2 to 7 days from when a calf ingests the oocysts to when they are secreting it. So although we do get a lot of crypto here, our death rate of calves is really low, if any. I didn't lose any calves last year. This year they seem fine so far. So yeah, it's a low death rate, but it spreads easy, and it also can affect them long term because of the damage to the gut, and they don't absorb nutrients, because obviously when they're scouring, the milk just goes straight through them. It does actually stunt their growth, and yeah, it can do long term damage on their gut too. So yeah, although it doesn't kill them necessarily, it definitely affects them if you don't get on top of it and get rid of it as soon as you can. It usually lasts for around 10 days, so it is quite a long one to have to deal with. Obviously some catch it sooner than others, so it might feel like you've been having crypto for ages because the first ones would have recovered, but then the ones that didn't catch it that early catch it like 5 days later, and then they've got it, so then your 10 days keeps extending. So that's why I just like to buy kind of all my calves at once if I can. I mean, obviously this year it's hard because we're using this small shed. We are actually making a new calf shed, hopefully, fingers crossed, by spring. So definitely stay tuned for that. Crypto keeps becoming an issue on our farm. Obviously it's going to be a lot easier having a big shed. I'll just buy all my calves at once, because when you keep adding new calves in, then they pick up crypto, and then it just feels like you've just got crypto for weeks. So yeah, I definitely recommend just getting all your calves in at once. And obviously that doesn't apply to dairy farmers, because you can't do that because you've always got calves coming in. So I do feel for you guys. But if you're like me and just rearing calves on a small block, beef calves, and you choose when you buy your calves, it's actually better to just buy the whole lot at once if you're dealing with crypto, just so you can shorten the period of the crypto outbreak. So just before I get into what we do when we have crypto and how we kind of handle it, just remember it is my experience, like this is just my opinion. Obviously there's so many different calf rearers out there that all have different ways of doing things. So yeah, just keep that in mind. This is just pretty much what we do. And we have had it for 5 years, so I do have a bit of experience when it comes to crypto. And our calves do seem to recover okay. So yeah, I do feel confident to be able to give you some advice when it comes to this annoying bug. And I also want to say, if your calves ever get any kind of scours, like persistent scours, then definitely take a poo sample and go and take it to the vets. That's just the easiest way to know what you're dealing with. There's so many different scours and bugs and viruses that calves can get. So yeah, definitely do the tests. They're not actually that expensive. I think they're around $80. So it's definitely well worth getting the test, because you obviously don't want to treat your calves for something that they might not even have. So remember, crypto doesn't kill your calves, it's the dehydration that kills your calves. So you got to make sure that you keep your calves hydrated, and that is pretty much the key to getting through this. So what we do is we give the calves electrolytes at lunch, also put electrolytes in their water, and obviously still offer the 2 milk feeds. So a dehydrated calf is really easy to see. They will have low droopy ears, sunken eyes. If you pinch their skin, it might stay like a tent and not fall back down. They'll also tend to be a bit wobbly, and yeah, they'll stick out from the rest of the calves when they're not feeling too great. They'll either be happy and healthy through the whole 7 to 10 days, otherwise the oocysts will build up quite a lot and they will struggle when it gets into their stomach lining. So these two over here are struggling a little bit with it. You can see the sulky ears, you can see, if you can get past these damn flies, you can see just the scales on their tails. They're not looking too flash. But you wait 7 days and these calves will be completely different. They'll be super happy and they definitely will get through this. Some calves really get hit with it, others barely even get it. They might just have a little bit of a loose scour but not watery. The fat calves differently, the severity of the crypto, they don't necessarily always get it really bad. Some might not even get it at all. It just really depends on how much colostrum they had, what their immunity is like and things like that, the size of the calf. There's so many things that play into it. Okay, so one thing I've learned is don't restrict the milk feeds. When I first got crypto, I thought it was like people. Obviously when you got a sore tummy, the last thing you want is milk, because you'd think it would like feed the bug and make it worse. But no, they need milk to have energy. Electrolytes doesn't give them energy, it's just replacing all the salts and fluids and stuff like that that they've lost. So definitely you need to continue their milk feeds morning and night. So what I do is, so long as the calves have one milk feed a day, then I'm happy. Like a milk feed and obviously the electrolytes at lunch. But if I give the calves a milk feed and they've all fed in the morning, if at night they're not too fussed on their milk or only drink a quarter or a half of their feed, then I won't force them to drink any more. Because obviously later on down the track we do feed them once a day and people do feed them once a day. So the logic I thought of this is, if so long as they've had one milk feed in the morning for the energy and then an electrolyte feed at lunch, then I'm not too fussed if they feed or not at night time. So how we keep track of this is using spray paint. I just pretty much put a line on the back when they've missed a feed, and then I'll obviously move up their body how many feeds they've missed. Obviously it would be a lot easier probably if we tagged them. I used to tag them, but just we're not doing big numbers this year, so yeah, I was like, spray paint will be fine, they'll just look like bloomin' rainbows when I go to sell them. So pretty much I'll just do a spray paint, they miss a feed, just so I know, yeah, who I need to keep an eye on. So if we've got a calf with lots of spray paint all over it, I really know that that's the calf that I need to make sure feeds. Obviously if the calf doesn't feed for more than 2 feeds in a row, I will tube feed them. I will show you later on how to tube feed them if I need to tube feed a calf, but so far all of them have been drinking pretty good and I haven't needed to use this tube feeder, which is great for me. But yeah, I will intervene and tube feed them if I need to, because at the end of the day we just need to keep those calves hydrated any way possible. So I'm feeding them their milk for the morning and they all seem to be feeding good, which is a plus, especially this one. When we mark them with the green spray paint, that means they've missed a feed or two, so every stripe we do is a missed feed. So it's good that she is feeding. So hopefully they drink the whole lot, and then we've just got this other side to go. But they're actually looking all pretty good this morning. Hey, all bright and alert. That's what I like to see. So you can see she's stopped feeding now. She's the one with 3 green marks, so she's definitely hasn't been well out of them all. But when they get scours, their tummies are normally quite gassy and upset from that sore gut. So she was already a little bit blown up when she started feeding, you can kind of tell. So these two have really been struggling, this one here and this one here, the little two. But they've definitely picked up a lot since a couple of days ago. So that's awesome. These calves have actually really picked up. So I think we got them on Tuesday last week and today's Thursday. So it's been 9 days since I've had them. They started scouring on Saturday. So it's been Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So it's been 5 days and they've already picked up so much. Well, the ones that got it on the Saturday, that is. And then we've got a calf like this. She hasn't had it before. I can tell she's got it because you can see all the scours. If my camera wants to focus, you can see all the scours all over her tail. So yeah, we know that she has it now, but she still, when she wants to, she still seems to be feeding fine, so I'm not too worried. So we're at the end of feeding, everyone fed, so that's amazing. Obviously that just one calf, which I showed you just before, she's the only one who I'm going to keep an eye on, but other than that everyone's actually looking pretty good. Here's another reason why we use the compartment feeders, so we can see who's actually feeding and who actually isn't. I mean, you can look at their tummies, feel their tummies to see how full they are, but I definitely reckon it's a lot easier having the compartment feeders, and then you know exactly what that particular calf has drank. So even if one calf still got a lot left, I will literally fight the other calves, like let them suck on my fingers just to make sure that that calf finishes its whole feed. So yeah, I reckon that's really, really important, especially when you have sick calves, because they obviously need a lot of extra fluids, and you need to make sure that they're actually getting the fluids into them. Now I also cut back the milk a little bit, so normally I'd feed them about 2.5 to 3 litres in the morning and at night, which is a lot more than I used to feed them, but we've got whole milk at the moment and we've got a lot of it, so I thought why not, if they're hungry I'll give it to them. But overfeeding can also lead to scarring, so they don't need that added issue. So yeah, I definitely make sure they only get 2 litres of milk and don't overfeed them. So in addition to milk, I also make sure they've got lots of meal and hay, and also this product called True Feed, which is like a toxin binder and it slows the passing of milk through their bodies, so that definitely helps with scouring. Obviously hay, meal, anything like that bungs them up a bit. Getting into that meal, which is awesome, starts to develop that rumen, hopefully bung them up a little bit. She's getting into that salt lick, aren't ya? Is that nice? And I mean, salt licks are like $3 a block, so definitely pays to keep one in their pen. And getting into that hay as well. Hay is a real good binder, so it's real good just to chuck a little bit of hay in the paddock for them to have a bit of a chew on. And will all help in slowing that milk going through the calf, because essentially we want the milk to be absorbed and not just pass straight through the calf, so then the calf can grow. Now this is probably a how do you even say that word? Controversial, is that it? Yeah. This is probably a controversial topic. Why do I struggle saying that word? About adding probiotics and things like that. So I did use probiotics some years. It honestly didn't even make much of a difference. I know a lot of you will disagree with me with this one, but I'm just saying, yeah, like our experience by what we've done over the past years. So when we have added probiotics, it hasn't made a difference. I did also do a trial where I gave some calves the probiotics, some not, and it didn't really make a difference when it came to this crypto situation. I get it, like why you'd give it to them, because it gives them like an immunity boost and everything, but yeah, for the price of it, it didn't really make too much of a difference. I know there's a lot of other treatments out there. I think one's called Helicure. Never tried that before. Please let me know in the comments below if you have tried that and how you went with it. I just think the key is just to keep them hydrated. We'll get over it. Just like when we have the shits, we get over it. We don't need to take special medicines. You just keep yourself full of fluids, eat bland toast or whatever, and then you come right. I mean, that is the risk that I take when I buy calves from the sale yard. I actually looked at the documents the other day, and these 19 calves came from 9 different farms. So we're bound to get some sort of disease, you'd think, by having 9 different farms that we've got our calves from. Alright, now a big one is disinfection. We pretty much clean everything every single day. So I'll spray down this calf pen every day. That's because when the calves shed all these oosits, They shed billions of them, so obviously if you can try and disinfect it and kill some of these, it will try and slow down the contamination, but you'll obviously never get completely rid of it. But yeah, it definitely helps to lower the numbers of those oocysts. Are you looking at the chain in the background, missus? What are you doing? That's going to be noisy. She's licking the chain in the background. So yeah, disinfection is key. Also, I disinfect all the feeders after I use them. I even disinfect the calves' bums, which you can do. Now, when it comes to getting a disinfectant, make sure it does kill Cryptosporidium. So I know disinfectants such as Virkon doesn't kill this particular bug. We use a disinfectant called Vetsan, which has been amazing. Yeah, just make sure you read those labels when you're getting a disinfectant if you do have crypto in your sheds, just to make sure that it actually kills the crypto. Make sure you also spray your boots. I actually use different gum boots when I'm in the calf pens as opposed to when I'm walking around the farm. Keep your dogs away from the calf sheds. Last year my collies got the crypto and ugh, it was disgusting. Can you imagine the rough collies' hair? Like, there was just like poo all over their butt. It was just, yeah, it was a nightmare. So keep your dogs away because they can catch it. Same with chickens. We've finally locked our chickens away because they used to walk around the calf sheds and eat all the poo and then they'd get crypto. And I actually just did a video on my chicken coop if you want to check that out. Same with our pigs. We've got pigs next door. So yeah, we're just really cautious because a lot of animals can catch this crypto. Older animals aren't really affected as much as like the younger calves and lambs. So obviously the calves at the moment are outside in the paddock. So we're just got to make sure that we don't put any other younger animals in there for a few months because like I said earlier, the crypto can live for a while, so we wouldn't go putting our sheep that are lambing in that paddock because obviously the lambs can get that crypto. So yeah, we're just going to be real careful what goes in that paddock pretty much over the next few months. Now before, when I was talking about disinfection, what I also do is cover up the whole pen with sawdust every few days. This is another reason why we use the super shavings. It's really easy to freshen up the pens. It comes out of the bag, you just kick it around, cover up all those poos so the calves aren't exposed to it as much. So yeah, that's pretty much why we don't use wood chip when it comes to having outbreaks of crypto, because when they're scouring, they scour a lot and it usually sits on top of the wood chip, doesn't really mix in, and then the calves are just pretty much sitting on top of all the scours, and you can imagine how easily that gets spread. So yeah, highly recommend if you've got crypto, sawdust I reckon is the way to go because you can just easily just chuck a fresh layer on top and cover up some of those scours and freshen up the pen a lot. Now, if you could take anything home from this video, it would be get your calves outside. If you've got crypto, scours or anything, the best place for your calves to be is outside. You don't want them sitting in a pen full of scours. Obviously if they're sitting in it licking it, they're obviously just going to get worse. It's also never going to be as well ventilated as it is outside. Outside there's also a lot of sunlight which kills the crypto. Definitely just as soon as you've got sick calves, just get them outside. I know it can be hard in some situations depending on your setup and things. But yeah, pretty much as soon as I start getting scours, I will just send my calves outside straight away. As soon as I've finished feeding them, I will let them out straight away. I don't want them to be in this pen any longer than they need to other than feeding. So I'll show you these bubbers outside at the moment. They're loving the sunshine today. So much fresh air out here. Definitely makes me feel a lot happier to see them outside, out of those damp pens. Calves are obviously better outside in the fresh air. These guys can go outside if they want to, but they obviously like chilling in here because it's sheltered from all the wind and stuff. Obviously don't just kick your calves outside without having shelter. They do need the option of a shelter to keep warm and get protected from the weather. Apart from running around the paddock, they also love this big dirt pile to play with. Don't you? Except they boost around the paddock and then crash into it. And they love playing in it like this one. So cute. So yeah, you wouldn't think these calves are super crook, would you? I actually love just watching them play in the evenings. Super cute. Just remember, crypto does last a long time in your calf shed. It's really hard to get rid of. Sunlight pretty much is the only thing that gets rid of it. So if you can, just rip off all the roofs in your calf shed and let it really get exposed to the sunlight. I know that's not always easy for everybody, but that pretty much is the only way that you're really going to get rid of it. Otherwise, dig really deep into the ground because it lives really deep in the dirt. Lives in wooden walls, so that's why in our new calf shed we're going to do all iron and steel. We're going to try and avoid using wood because crypto really lives in the wood too. But fingers crossed, when we build our new shed we won't have crypto problems anymore, because obviously it's a brand new shed, never had crypto in there. So fingers crossed that this is the end to these nightmares of crypto. And now just a message to all you calf rearers dealing with this kind of thing. I know that it can be really hard, really exhausting and devastating to see all your calves get really sick. I know when I wake up every morning and come out to the shed, I just don't know what I'm going to be in for. I don't know who's going to be sick, who's going to be healthy, but you just got to take it one day at a time. It's going to be a crappy 7 to 10 days, but it will get better, they will pick up and they will get healthier, and you will make it to the other side, don't you worry. I mean, I've dealt with this every single year. I sometimes ask myself, like, why? Like, what do I do wrong? But it's just one of those things. I mean, in the dairy industry, I just think there's just so many different bugs out there. Like the amount of different bugs that we've had with calves, like crypto, rotavirus, coccidiosis, salmonella, there's just so many out there, and you're probably bound to pick up something. I mean, those calf rearers that don't get any scales or anything, like, you guys are amazing. I don't know how you do it. Just stay positive. Take one day at a time, you will get through this. If you're wondering what the bumps were, that's because this little lass thinks she wants to lick my camera stand. Hey guys. Alright, so we're going to leave it there. I hope everyone learned a few things when it comes to crypto and about scales and calves. Just remember, you're not alone. There's a lot of calf rearers out there that you can talk to. You guys are welcome to leave me a comment if you want to ask me anything, or if you're just struggling and need a few positive words to get you through this. I'm definitely here for you guys. So, summarizing this video, just remember that it's the dehydration that kills your calves and not the crypto itself. Make sure you keep all your pens and everything disinfected. Keep your dogs and other animals away. Make sure you can get your calves outside in the paddock in the nice fresh air. And most importantly, stay strong, and just remember that it's only for 7 to 10 days and you guys will get through this. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for episode 5. Now, episode 4 was meant to be all about how we feed our calves, the methods we use, what we feed them and everything. But because we had this crypto outbreak, I thought it would just be good to show you and talk about crypto while we had it here. So yeah, stay tuned for episode 5. So I'll see you soon. Thank you so much. See you later.